As Teddy sat on the sofa with a book the wrong way round on his lap, he hummed, just loud enough for Michael to hear. Earlier, Teddy had found a piece of paper and torn it into strips so as to make bookmarks, to thread into the book, to fool Michael into thinking he was reading it. It was while looking for the paper with which to make the bookmarks that Teddy had come across some lines he'd written once while under shell fire. Well, they were not exactly lines, not of poetry as such, more lines as in telegraph lines, straight lines but done with verve, which had small wiggles in them, zigzags actually, wobbles reminiscent of a seismograph printout, ones printed out during a major earthquake. For it was each crooked bit in every line that indicated the precise moment when Teddy had been fired at by the owner of the house, an ex-colonel whom he happened to be burgling, who had spotted Teddy in his study, trying out his fountain pens by drawing lines across his last remaining sheets of scented stationery. The difference between the straight and crooked lines Teddy had done gave him the idea of how he might run a pen along, doing writing, which could be meaningful, poetic, or funny, and then, without lifting the pen off the paper, change it suddenly into a drawing of a waterfall, and then back again into writing. After being fired upon, Teddy had scarpered. On hearing the shots, Bingo, the colonel's nephew, had rushed to the window. Because the opera glasses were the wrong way round, he observed a tiny figure making off. Following the fracas and then a stiff drink, the colonel telephoned the police. After interviewing the witness, the detective questioned the colonel. The colonel said that he had fired to frighten the burglar, but the detective suspected that due to a series of overcompensations, due to a blind eye and a gun that pulled to the side, the colonel missed every time. Examining the holes in the antique panelling, the detective cleverly joined up the dots, which revealed the burglar's outline. The detective concluded that the writing by the criminal was an attempt to practice the colonel's signature in order to forge cheques. The next day, the colonel and Bingo attended an identity parade. The colonel, who did not wish to appear a coward, pointed out the huge brute, while the nephew, due to the opera glasses having been the wrong way round, pointed at the littlest. The detective drew his conclusions. Revising his theory, he suspected no crime had been committed, except that the colonel was intending to pull off an insurance scam for the loss of some priceless jewel that would no doubt turn out to be missing. Even the lie detector played into Teddy's paws, thanks to some interference from Michael and Bingo. While the colonel was put away, Michael and Bingo became pals, and Teddy borrowed the rolls.